The Humanism of Sri Ramakrishna. The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna repeatedly announces this eternal mantra: Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahman alone is real, and the world is unreal. God alone is real, and everything else is unreal. In Sri Ramakrishna's glorious life, we see the living example of the intense aspiration for God realization, the forgetting of the world and living beings, the absolute elimination of the identity with the body, the supreme bliss at the realization of the chosen ideal, the wonderful experiencing of God through many paths and many fates, the Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhis, and so on. His blessing to his devotees at the Kaushipur Garden House in Kolkata was, "May your spiritual consciousness be awakened." And this blessing clearly says that God realization is the only goal of human life. So, such an incomparable, God-intoxicated or Brahman-inebriated, superhuman, divine personality like Ramakrishna to be interested in humanism is self-contradictory. But the actual events of his illustrious, hitherto unheard-of life, illumined by the supreme light of knowledge and ever stationed in the divine threshold of Bhavamukha, stand evidence to this fact. That very Sri Ramakrishna, who is soft-bodied and blissful and immersed in a state of samadhi which is natural to him, Dhrita Sahaja Samadhim Chinmayam Komalangam, has again come down to distribute knowledge, devotion and peace. Vitaritumavatirnam Jnana Bhakti Prashantihi. As his heart has melted out of love, and so can't remain aloof even for a moment, seeing the suffering of living beings, Pranaya Galita Chittam Jiva Dukha Sahishnum. Moreover, Bhanjana Dukha Ganjana Karunaghana Karma Kathor Pranarpana Jagatatarana Krintana Kalidor. Sri Ramakrishna is also known as the destroyer of abominable misery. He is mercy incarnate. He is the doer of arduous deeds. He has sacrificed his life for the good of the world and cut asunder the bonds of Kali Yuga. Standing atop the office building at Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna cried out in anxiety, "Where are you all? Come!" The priest of Mother Bhavatarini, whose very life was mother and nothing else, was anxious that day to have people near him. The supreme divine madness of the aspirant days were now the ocean of resplendent emotions, a sea of love, an intoxication of divine love, a bridge to eternity, which helps everyone cross the ocean of samsara. The visions and spiritual experiences of Sri Ramakrishna did not end with his seeing Mother Bhavatarini in just one way alone. In his experience stood illumined the very bliss of divine consciousness, not just in the form of Mother Kali only, but as the eternally vibrant consciousness hidden behind the veil of the world of Maya. To his eyes, the articles of worship, the doors and windows, the trees and plants, the cat and the human being, all presented themselves as different manifestations of consciousness. To his vision, people did not remain worms any longer, crawling after worldly fulfillments. He saw the oneness of Jiva and Shiva, the Divine Mother in the temple, and people of different strata of society were to him expressions of the same consciousness. With this true knowledge having come, there remained no difference at all between individuals and the gods, inanimate objects and animals, squalor and the holy river. Sri Ramakrishna's supreme experience transported him once and for all from the world of dualities to the universe of spiritual consciousness. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. All this, whatever moves in this moving world, is to be enveloped by God. Ramakrishna realized this truth perfectly well when he saw that the mother in the temple, his own mother living then at Nahabad, and Mother Sharada, who was serving his holy feet, were one and the same. Again, When he saw that the Divine Mother presented herself as the fallen woman, the deluding woman, and in numerous other forms, he said, "Man is Narayana himself. If God can manifest himself through an image, then why not through man also? It is being revealed to me that there is a greater manifestation of God in man than in other created beings." The purpose of the avatar is not served only in attaining spiritual heights for his own sake. The 1,000-streamed Ganges, called the avatar, flows through 1,000 channels in order to spread his sadhana and attainments amongst everyone for everyone's good. So the Master, who was panting for the vision of the Divine Mother Bhavatarini at the Dakshineshwar temple, announced from his little room on the same plot of land with a view to do good to the world that, if God can be worshipped through a clay image, then why not through a man? For God no doubt dwells in all, but He manifests Himself more through man than through other beings. A father becomes bankrupt through the marriage of his daughters, yet he goes on having children year after year. There are men who cannot feed the children they have, who cannot clothe them or provide decent shelter for them, yet they have more children every year. Hridaya Kamala Madhye Rajitam Nirvikalpam Sadasada Khila Bhedatitam Ekaswarupam Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam Nityam Ananda Murtim. The formless is glowing in the region of the heart. It is one without a second and beyond all divisions like existence and non-existence. It is beyond the creations of nature and is ever blissful. Sri Ramakrishna has been praised in this beautiful way. What a wonderful humanism this great avatar shows. This humanism is something unique, being immersed in divine consciousness always, and yet accepting the manifestation as true, but through the purest mind and intellect. The compassionate Ramakrishna has transformed human beings into the divine by propagating their worship as Shiva, and not in showing compassion, looking upon them as a jiva or ordinary beings. This novel standpoint, or novel experience, or novel feeling, or novel religion means that all human beings are gods themselves, and in their service we can be liberated from all bondages and become the heirs of immortal bliss. Not only that, we can become the emperors of the divine kingdom within and attain to divine wealth. Therefore, we see practical Vedanta being stressed in the Ramakrishna avatar. And for this very reason, we see Sri Ramakrishna condemning in no uncertain words and unequivocally that Vedanta which does not make the spiritual aspirant broad, that Vedantic knowledge which does not raise the mind of the human being beyond animal instincts and desires, that Vedanta which does not make us go out of the small shells called ourselves and feel for others. The immaculate instances of the blossoming of humaneness to its fullest in Sri Ramakrishna is seen when he accepts Dhuni Kamarini as his aunt's mother, when he feels intense pain as if someone were wringing a towel within his heart the day his relative Akshay died, when he gives up the most aspired after holy place, Vrindavan, at the thought of his own mother, when he thinks of providing bangles for Holy Mother Sharda Devi, when he teaches his wife how to do ordinary acts of service, when he vows green coconut and sugar to Mother Kali during Keshav Sen's illness, when he expresses childlike simplicity and depends on Divine Mother for everything, when he behaves like any other ordinary mortal upon injuring his own hand, when he jokes and makes fun like ordinary people, when he expresses immense anxiety for the welfare of boys like Narendra, when he struggles his utmost and gives up the peaceful Dakshineshwar and goes from street to street in order to awaken the people of Kolkata from their inertia and slumber, when he, as the embodiment of Vedanta, goes from door to door to teach Vedanta, when he does not hesitate to hand over Girish's wine bottle to him, when by mistake he leaves it in the vehicle itself, when he shows immaculate compassion towards the actresses of the theatre, when he strives to serve the afflicted at Deoghar during his pilgrimage, when he is engaged in removing the distress of the people of Kalai Ghat, when he himself removes the leaf plates of the lowly, when he gladly cleans the latrine of the lowborn with his own tuft of hair, when he draws the disease of Rashmani's daughter-in-law, Jagadamba, into his own body so as to relieve her suffering, when he experiences pain and has the mark on his back too at a boatman's hitting another boatman, when he suffers terrible burning sensation while trying to remove the leprosy of a person, when he cares not for his throat pain and is ever ready to help the suffering and inquiring people, and, over and above everything, when he remarks that if someone is helped by his suffering 1,000,000 times, he is ready to undergo that. Really, can there be another helper of the fallen, friend of humanity, loving and benevolent master like Sri Ramakrishna? Ramakrishna showed by actualizing the truth in his own life that every human being has the self within which has kept us bonded together. God, or Paramatman, is not someone sitting somewhere above in the sky, but a living, vibrant reality who is the dearest friend of the human being. And there is no difference between Paramatman and the individual. So, Sri Ramakrishna's humanism, in one word, is the acceptance of the inherent divinity of the human being. Nirvasanopi satatam paramangalarthi, nishkarmakopi satatam parakarma karta, nirdukha leshamapitam satatam paresham, dukkheshu kataramaho bhajarama krishnam. His mind was free from every form of desire, gross or subtle, yet he prayed for the welfare of others. He was free from the bondage of all action, yet he worked for the welfare of others. Though himself free from every form of sorrow and suffering, he felt the utmost distress in the sufferings of others. Adore him, Ramakrishna, who thus felt the sorrows of others as his own.